Previously on Funny Science Fiction.
Or have someone come and rip your toenails off. No.
Okay, yeah, now I'm scared again.
I was scared.
Welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast, where we consider ourselves the reason aliens roll up their windows when they stroll past Earth.
For proper introduction, Marcin Świerkot, whose proper pronunciation is difficult for any American to pronounce, is our guest today. He's the CEO of Awaken Realms, whose board game Nemesis has recently taken flight and is a real hit. A 1 to 5 player semi-cooperative sci-fi horror where you and your friends try to survive while attempting to fulfill your secret objectives that may sometimes collide, thus perhaps inadvertently sabotaging your attempts to escape. First of all, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, hey everyone.
In light of your game, we're going to be doing this a little differently. Both Tim and I have been given a secret mission by our assistant Deb during this interview. We need to complete our secret objective to be to be the winning host of the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Okay, so if we start asking about silly things to each other or to you or something, you'll know why. Maybe. It's a secret.
All right. I can tell that Tim looks like a traitor a little bit, just like from the, I can see him for like 5 minutes, but he's that type, right? You can get this.
It's the red shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably like, if you're looking for red signs, then.
So it's an incredibly fun game, because simply you're just doing all of this second guessing. I remember I'd have a friend of mine. They'd go and check the engines. Yeah, everything's good. They check the navigation or something. Yeah, we're on course to Earth or whatever. And you want to take their word for it, right? But at the same time, you're constantly second guessing yourself. Is their secret mission to kill us all?
Yeah.
So whose idea was it to promote such betrayal and distrust among friends? And have you lost any friends or employees or anything?
Yeah. We thought how about we destroy a lot of relationship between people, and monopoly was not enough, so let's try to bring it to another level. That was the origins.
Yeah. Right.
No, but honestly, we're the author of the game, Adam Fapiski, and also everyone in the company, we're huge fans of the sci-fi horrors back in the day when we're talking, Aliens, The Thing, and so forth and so forth. And, the huge, overlapping theme of every of those horror is not only that we have those, aliens or whatever is out there for us, but you also have this paranoia of, okay, corporation is not our friend. Our friends are not necessarily our friends. We don't know, who to trust, everyone has their secret agenda. And, that's the influence that we wanted to put into the board game where, there is this extraterrestrial threat that we're afraid. But on the, we have as humans those stupid instincts where, everyone is for themselves. And when you look at, for example, what's happening to COVID or whatever, it shows that those instincts are there. That, it's not like there is some crazy danger and then the human race unites together and fight it. No, everyone is for themselves still, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to put it in a test, and it worked brilliantly, especially in a lot of groups that are, because different people, there are different types of people with board games, and if you have a group of cutthroats who just want to do everything, those games are fun. You can just watch them. And the fun part is that every single game is a different story, and it has this cinematic narration, what you said, right? When one guy said to everyone, hey guys, we're going to Earth, and they were fighting really hard for 30 minutes to fix the engines and go to the hibernation. And then at the end of the game, it turns out that it actually goes to the Mars because there's a secret lab there and everyone dies, but the guy who, cheated everyone. And yeah, so there are a lot of fun story about it. But, ultimately, this is kind of like a tribute to all those sci-fi classics that have this overarching treason, theme, embedded in themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So give us your favorite moment you've probably played hundreds and hundreds of games. Favorite moment, especially one that turned out kind of ironic or something like that. Anything funny?
The story was that my target objective was that player 2 cannot leave. And I basically throw a grenade to the room that he was inside with an intruder. And the intruder was like half dead, but still, way to go. And I was like, yeah, he's 95% dead. Like, it's like the game will kill him. So I'm just going to go to the escape pod, escape, and nothing can happen. And this guy, he survived for everything. He punched the intruder in the face, killed him, obviously, right? And it was like obviously, like, his chances for survival was like 3%, and he actually survived. And his only motivation was to piss me because I throw the grenade, and he was like, "Oh, you will see. I'm just gonna leave one round just to spite him, and he actually lived, and I lost. He won, and that was it doesn't sound like this epic, but it was really epic because his chance of survival was like really like few percent, and he pulled it off. And he didn't even believe himself that he gonna win, but he was just carrying on just to piss me off. Yeah, he ultimately won, and yeah, that was fun.
I'm sure in the moment that was hysterical.
You got a better chance playing rock paper scissors,
right?
Yeah, bro.
Well, Marcin, as you may know, and many people know, that humans weren't actually the first to go into space. There was the first shuttle into space actually contained Laika, I think the name is pronounced. Yep. So it's a space dog. So, but you guys are doing this a little bit differently. You guys are including cats. So what's the deal with the cat knot?
I mean, like who doesn't love cats? Like we are rewriting history. And so and I bet that there are some conspiracy theories who's saying that dinosaurs was in space before us, before Laika even. So I can bet that there's this Facebook group about it somewhere. So I wouldn't be so sure about that. So
I think your chances of that are probably pretty strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, go ahead, please.
Yeah, no. It's just like, it's like we always try to make like a mascot in our game.
Okay.
And the space cat was like I would love to have because like I was there, but I would love the cat, having two cats myself. I would love the cat to be the first one to go, and it will be like like a $1 billion project. You opening the door for the cat, and he's like, "No, I'm not walking. Like this is the perfect time for me to lick myself in front of the whole world or whatever." Right? So
I'll come in a minute. I've got to finish cleaning. So
yeah, that's. I know the cats are very very fun, and kind of we imagine in that way that they will be quite fun for the cutout to be in the ship. And actually, there is one story on the Carnomorphs, which is one of the expansions. The Carnomorphs is like alternative enemies, which is more like zombie, whatever. And our creative writer, Krzysztof, write a story how they came to be. And the story is that there was a hyper jump coming, and obviously one of the cat was lost, and no one knows where he was. And he wandered into the laboratory when the G-force smashed him into the wall. But meanwhile, he go onto the few samples of the alien DNA, and everything merged. And this is how the first Carnomorph came to be. And this is actually a legit story in the game. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So with that storyline now in my head, how many times did you guys have to deal with animal rights activists during your beta testing?
We are fortunate to have zero so far. But I know, like, when we'll get to the Games Workshop level, probably it will start. I'm not sure if you know the controversy on the space wolves from the Games Workshop, because they will have the space wolves has obviously a lot of furs on them. And this was a problem for PETA, I think, activists. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also understand that you got your start in your basement painting miniatures. And while teaching everyone else, while you were painting, you were also teaching everyone else how to dance. And you were playing some basketball, shooting some hoops. So it's clear to us that you have a very eclectic interest level and background and skill set. But even with that type of skill set, you have to realize that at some point, there's something that you're just not good at. So for you, when it came to creating of board games and these immense worlds, what is it that you feel that you weren't good at, and who on your team compensates for that for you?
All right. Yeah, that's a good question. So first of all, we got quite a big team. I think people does not suspect how many people work in our office. We have like around 70 people on different projects, but that's quite a lot. And they are much more talented than me. Like my favorite job is to kind of hire smarter people than me and, just don't stand in their way. This is the best approach you have, that you can have. But I think that the biggest thing would be the details relating gameplay. I feel that I'm good in like an overarching scoping, like what can be fun or not, but then getting to the point where the game is fun like 80% of the time, because this is the problem when you're speaking board games. There is so many different possibilities, so many randomity in the game that you have to play test it like 500. We literally play tested Nemesis like 1,000 times, and getting those details right. That 80% of the games are fun, cinematic experience, that everything like that's a lot of work, and making sure that all the details sums up, that the cards. And the problem is that once you ship the board game to the person, that's it. Like if something is broken in the rules, sorry man, there's no patching like in digital games that you can patch things up. And that's right. No. It's a costly thing. We actually had one story which is quite interesting, because we obviously we produce the games in China, and we had a problem called melted soldier. Whereas they have like a big assembly lines in China to kind of assemble everything for the board game, and then they took I'll just take a miniature to show you. But there was one person that the whole task was to take a miniature and put it in the place, right? And from one point, the mold that the miniatures were was destroyed, and one of the character soldier basically was melted. He looked like someone put acid on him, right? And obviously the person who was putting the miniatures obviously didn't really care about that. So we ended up shipping like 15,000 and 5,000 melted soldiers to people, and we sent replacement to every single one of them after that. Which was kind of fun, but we also put like some small Easter eggs about it, because we added a special wound in the game, melted, just for discard, so people can have the use for this miniature or body. So
what a great way to turn problem into opportunity.
Yeah, I mean,
that's great.
It's not a bug, it's a feature, right?
Yes, exactly.
No, way to roll with it. That's awesome.
So speaking about how you started out down your path residing in your basement, dancing and painting, you probably also had some time to play board games in between, like you've been stating, thousands have played. Yeah. What has been your favorite board game mechanic in your past? Just in the past, can you think of a really great mechanic? And then what was your least favorite mechanic of a board game or anything like that?
Sure. All right, so I'm kind of my favorite, even before I started entertaining the idea of making my own board games, I played my good share of it. I was huge Magic the Gathering player, huge. I spent so much money that I didn't have on the game. It's ridiculous how but definitely when it comes to the game that I spent most time, Magic the Gathering has it, and I loved. So my favorite part about this is that the core rules of Magic are quite simple to get, but the creativity that the guys put into those with all the different expansions is just tremendous. You have special shadow, morphing, counters, summons, you name it, time mechanics. There's so much that they did, having those simple rules that were developed 20 years ago or so. So that was definitely the other thing that I really enjoy is that the Euro kind of games that I can play with my family, like my parents or my partner or whatever. And obviously I'm a power gamer. I'm a huge power gamer. Like I want to win or I want to have it. And it's very hard for me to play the games with people who just play for fun and enjoy, like so that we both have a good time. But there are a few games that actually enables that. And that's usually Euro games, non-competitive, not directly competitive. And whenever I see something like that, I really like. I'm very surprised that like we can play together. I can have a fun as a power gamer, and someone else can have a fun as just like enjoying their time and whatnot. Games like Terraforming Mars, Agricola, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I definitely this is something that I enjoy. When it comes to the least favorite, I don't think that I enjoy a lot of randomness in terms like dice rolling that decides whether you win or lose. Being a power gamer, if I need to have a feeling where if I did all the correct decisions and I lose to the player who didn't do that, then I'm getting triggered a little bit. So so I'm not a huge fan of randomness. And then
So no rock, paper, scissors.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depending on how much effort does it take, because rock paper scissors is okay because it lasts for very long. But if you have like 3-hour game,
True.
yeah, and there's like multiple decisions, like sea of decisions, and you see this player who's making all the wrong decisions in the world, and then he still managed to win with you. This is just a bad design from my perspective. So
All right. How about this? We'll play a game of rock, paper, scissors.
all right.
And if you win, right, I'll give you a red shirt Widows and Orphans cup.
All right, okay.
All right. You ready for this?
What's the downside if I lose?
If you lose,
Come on,
We're-
get
we're-
it something like
we're-
Nemesis
we're
let
still
me
expansion.
gonna-
think.
We're still going to send you a cup.
I don't know. You got to send me a cool miniature. How about that? You probably have a few
Yeah,
of
I
those
can do
around.
it. I can do it.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
All right.
sure.
How about that? Okay. Ready?
Okay, hold
Alright.
on. I need to hold on. Like, show
All
me
right.
your eyes. I need to first look, at your psyche.
Am I-
Oh,
Yeah,
at my eyes.
So,
Do I-
okay,
do I
your
moderate
eyes,
the
and
game?
now tell me, are you going to do scissors?
I'm gonna do scissors, of course.
Okay, so you'll not do like rock, right?
I might do rock. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, let's go. I know everything. Okay, ready?
All right.
Ready?
3.
Rock.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right. We both did scissors.
Both
Let's
did
try again.
scissors.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
I got paper.
Okay.
Ah,
No, I think we need to do best of 3. I don't think there's any way. that we
Best of 3. Are you sure?
Yeah, that's how the rules go. You don't get off away with 1.
I wanted that miniature. Okay, ready? We'll do it
Okay,
again.
hold on. I need to kind of like. Okay, let's go.
Besides, I really want Nick to lose.
1,
Or
2,
Nate to lose.
3.
Oh, come on.
Bam!
2, 0. One more.
Okay,
Come on.
all right.
Up to 3.
Sure. 1, 2, 3.
All right,
Both paper.
Paper.
All right.
I think I can call it a day and I can let you win. That's okay.
All right.
But
All right.
I'm only doing this because you're a host. That's
Well,
the only reason.
well, hey, thanks. And you know what? You just helped me accomplish my secret mission.
Oh,
So I
really? Did
appreciate
you?
that. Woo! I had to get somebody to play rock, paper, scissors.
And you need to go off the show alive.
Yeah.
Well, there's always that. Getting out of the show alive is just kind of a side point.
Yeah.
That's not
Whichever-
that important, is
Whichever one of us doesn't explode throughout the point of the podcast is always they're the
Okay.
winner.
Where do you guys hide the self-destruction button that I can press?
Yeah, it's the
What?
it's the easy button, the red button on your desk.
Ah, the red button. Okay, cool.
That's the eject button. Ah!
So, let's see here. Okay. So, the game of Nemesis, when you start out, like I remember my first time playing thinking, all right, guys, we got this. We can do it, right? Because we understood the premise.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, what's happening? We can't trust each other. The latest Kickstarter campaign was a huge success. However, Nemesis Lockdown which our sound tech Nick he loves your game. First of all, he is extremely excited for.
Have you ever heard of the term fanboy?
What mechanic are you most excited about that you could share with us about Lockdown?
Sure.
Right, you want to?
Yeah, cool. So there's like this one big thing that actually we wanted to put like more emphasis on, and this was the places like the engines or the control room for the choosing the direction where the ship goes. So we found out that in the core box, those are like the most fun places to play around the traitor role, where I could actually take one information, pass it around in a different way. I can say saying truth or not, or not. And then we kind of wanted to put that on the next level where it would be just more intense. And this is where the power supply mechanics comes in. Because in Nemesis, in the lockdown, there are it is divided on floors, and the team starts in a different spots on the different floors, and there is an elevator that still requires power. And the fun part is that from any place you can turn the power on and off on different floors. And the way, yeah, exactly. So the way it works is like, you take power from one floor and add it to another. So you can still pretend that you are not really the traitor. You can say like, oh, it's not like I don't like you, but I need power, right? So this is what I'm doing this. So this brings like a lot of interactions like that, where, you know, you're in the elevator, someone has the power, you're stuck, and, you know, there's like this different, although there's different fun parts of the darkness, because the darkness is a big factor. There's a special new alien race that is basically, you know, does much worse in the darkness. There's like a lot of fun gameplay around that, especially in those kind of, you know, this cutthroat idea of trying to, you know, trying to make others players life harder. And in the core box, you had to be more or less close to that person. Here, you can do it, you know, manually using computers and stuff like that. So it's even more tense, I would say, and you need to watch for your allies and what they are doing.
Wow.
Okay.
That sounds exciting.
So let me ask you this. So from what I understand, many of the intruders in the game are pretty tough. They've got all these different abilities and things. And so you said earlier that you kind of made this game as a tribute to Alien and The Thing and some other classic sci-fi / horror style movies. So if your intruder, and I'll let you pick which one, was to be pitted against the Predator in an Alien versus Predator style movie, which one would you put up and which one would have the best chance of winning?
Can I go with what will be the most fun to watch?
Absolutely, it's your call.
Okay, so I will go for the INTRUDER, so the newest one that we added, and this is basically like a huge living fungus with a huge queen in like on the mid ones with like a lot of like fungus tentacles, and they have like a special sprout things and so forth. And I'm not sure, but Predator don't have the fire supplies in a big way. In terms of like a literal flamethrower or so, or yeah, they actually might have some.
I think they do.
Yeah, that might be fine, but it would be probably fun to watch for like a fungus invasion versus. Yeah, it might not be the most dynamic movie of all, but I would go for this one. Yeah.
Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
All right, so it's finally come in the mail. We interviewed the CEO of Awaken Realms, the funny science fiction podcast. His name is Marcin Świerkot, and he decided, out of his kind heart, to donate to us a copy of the board game Nemesis, which is currently on back order and all that fun stuff. But he fully signed it by all the developers of the game, so that was very, very kind of him. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to set up an auction for the game so that we can help our Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund via Wish Upon a Teen. And Wish Upon a Teen is an awesome charity that helps kids who are in intensive care units and whatnot, so that they can have an easier stay when their stay becomes extended. So it's an amazing cause. It helps so many kids. It also helps in a very real sense, that kids are actually able to heal and kids are able to talk if they haven't been talking. It's a depressing place in a hospital, and really, it's one of the most amazing things this charity does, is it really targets those kids who need help. So it's an amazing cause. So let's open this up. So I did the liberty of breaking all the seals because that took me forever. So, because they made sure this is nice and sealed. So the box, first of all, is beautiful. Ooh. Well, this is cool. They got the Kickstarter bonus content. And this is sealed, so I'm not going to be opening it because this is going for auction. So I don't know what's in it because I haven't looked it up yet, but you got the Kickstarter bonus content in here with the beautiful space cat eating some Cheetos. That is awesome. That is hilarious. Wonderful. Okay, so we got that, and then look at this. Look at this. Wow. Look at Janik, Sambor. Wow. Look at these signatures. Beautiful. So let's get this out of the box, and I'm going to be careful about it because, you know, this game is expensive as it is. Nonetheless, signed by the developers. Let's open it because this is not sealed. This came unsealed so that they could sign individual pieces inside of it. So there's a few pieces in here. I believe the rule book is signed. Let's open this up. Man, whatever artists they got over there, man. Incredible work. Right. Look at this. Wow. So I am not going to punch any of these things out. We're not going to be touching it with much of any. I don't want any oils on my fingers on it. This is going to be mint condition. And here's the board. Beautiful board. And I want to just show you underneath this. I want to show you underneath it because look at these beautiful figurines you get. Look at this. Such crazy detail, especially if you're into painting or anything like that. Oh, dude, these would be so fun to paint. So fun. Okay. Wow. Well, that is what is up for auction. But it is signed by the owner and the developers of the game. This was a game that was originally successful on Kickstarter. We were being super, super, super careful with it. And so that we can give Wish Upon a Teen everything they deserve for the hard work they've been doing through all of it. Through COVID, through all this stuff. So I'm going to put this back in the box. And I think the starting bid is going to be around $200. I believe that's what it is. Don't quote me on that, but anyways, you can find us at the Funny Science Fiction Facebook group or podcast. You're welcome to listen in or welcome to enjoy some funny science fiction memes with us. And yeah, I'm super excited. This is a game that I love to play, and the fact that he did this for charity really means a lot to us. Check out Awaken Realms, and please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And please make a bid on this. See if you can't win this amazing, amazing piece of art. So, all right, have a good one, guys.
In other things, and not, away from your away from this particular board game, this tabletop game. So the world of virtual reality is blowing up. The world of augmented reality is really starting to blow up, and even just simple digital tabletop games are starting to become more and more prevalent. So we had read in Reddit that there was a possibility of Awaken making an augmented reality style game. Is that true? Or is that something you're looking into?
Yeah, we're definitely looking into that. The app, we just released the companion app for Nemesis, for example, and maybe not augmented reality, there are a few games that does it correctly. It's very hard to do well, I would say, because it cannot be annoying, and it should have like a good place. And I will give you an example of a game doing that right. This is like a game called Chronicles of Crime. It's a really great game, and it is basically a game that you are, you know, a detective trying to do stuff and so forth. And the way they use augmented reality app is that when you get to the crime, you actually have X amount of time that the app will let you look at the crime scene. And you actually put, you know, your Google's on and you look around, you can try to find some details, try to, you know, get it done. And this is like one of the, a good use of it. Another use that I can think of, I don't think that it was done, is just like, you know, giving like a limited time to look through the board, and the app will tell you like exactly how it looks like, and you need to try to remember it, and so forth and so forth. So that it kind of, it's not like a huge component, but it's more of like one of the element connected with time and using the best of your medium, right? But steering away from the augmented reality, we are extremely excited about the app for Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown. So it's not like we didn't promise it on the Kickstarter, but this is something that I definitely would be looking into. Because the way the app works is that it's not like you have one app for the whole group, but everyone connects via Wi-Fi to like a game server, and everyone has their own cell phone, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone has like the base stats of the characters and so forth. But let me give you like an example of a good use of that. We have a Void Seeder, which is intruder race that basically is, you know, kind of messing up with your head thoughts and so forth, right? And this could actually bring the distress level of, like, on another levels, meaning that imagine that you can trade the items with other crew members by showing them on the app. And basically you are giving them like, okay, I will give you a shotgun because I have a shotgun, and I'm giving them the shotgun, but actually on their own app, they are seeing that you are giving them crowbar, and you don't know if you are mad or they are mad, and you know what is the reality. So this is like an extremely fun way that you could use it, like next level of classified information and so forth. So for example, another example is like classified information, that you find something, you get it on your app, and only one person have an access to that information. So you only can see that, you know, classified information, but if the character gets it on the app that he actually can read it, then he can actually read it. So there are like a lot of ways that we are thinking of using this way of displaying information, like privately displayed informations. And this could be very exciting, especially if in a hidden traitor type of game. But yeah, it's like making apps is quite difficult, time consuming and cost consuming. So we're doing this step by step, right? And there are also a lot of apps that make the board game much worse to play. Basically, like what I see is like when they try to mimic the board. So basically you need to input the information of what just happened on the board into the app. It's just annoying. It's just like another level of upkeep that is unnecessary, and you know, people get annoyed by that. So yeah, but I think that there is a place for that, but it needs to be rooted in what makes the board game fun, which means human interaction and actually physical components that make sense. That's, I think, that's why people love board games, that we can sit all together in one table, just, you know, drink beer, have fun with physical components, and you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. A nice natural tie-in between the two.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What a good non-complicated way too. Like you said, augmented reality can kind of get in the way sometimes of what you're really trying to accomplish. So that's good because it's simple. I like it. Yeah. So we're coming to an end of the podcast, but Marcin, thank you so much for being on our show.
Yeah, this was amazing.
That was great. We encourage everyone, whether you're a game enthusiast, you love artistically and mechanically well done games that are incredibly unique and engaging, Awaken Realms has made multiple really beautifully constructed games. Nemesis has been our sci-fi favorite. Some of us because of the aliens, and some of us because of the cats. But Marcin, just before we go, can you tell us just anything that's new or upcoming or anything like that you want to share with people?
What should we be on the lookout for?
Yeah. Okay. So we actually have a new game that's a sci-fi upcoming.
Awesome.
Hopefully fall of this year. We're aiming for this year, but those are complicated topics, time related. It'll be a different type of game from our usual portfolio, because our usual portfolio is really dark when you look at it. We have the Tager Grail, which is a very dark reimagination of Arthurian legends. Nemesis is not rainbows and flowers. So yeah, but we wanted to do I wanted to make a game that will be about positive space exploration. I'm so excited about the possibility of actually humanity going out there. I love what SpaceX is doing, the Elon Musk thing, and so forth.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy that we're actually in the place and time where we could, I don't know, spend 10% of the money we spend on video games or whatever, and just we could actually be out there on Mars or other planets and we don't do it. It drives me crazy, literally. It's I think that it could be one of the best adventure that humanity can do in this year, and we're doing everything but it. So I wanted to make I feel we don't have to change everything by ourselves, but we can change the thing that we can control. So if I have a company that make actually board games and video games, I could maybe put a small little brick into inspiring people into, hey guys, look, we could be out there in the stars doing something exciting called human rights. So that's what that was driving motivation of, let's try to make a board game that will be more about discovering things, planets, and it's not about go out there, fight some nasty aliens, to Mass Effect stuff, just try to race against it. There are obviously some enemies, but it's mostly about the sense of discovering, the sense of collecting other life forms, other forms. And I can give you a short storyline blurb because I think it's amazing.
Yes, please.
Go for it.
Not sure if we have a time, but if we have
we got time. Go for it.
Right. So the idea is that at one point, so every living organism have something that is called junk DNA. This is 70% of our DNA that's basically not used. Anything the scientists have been saying for time and time again, that this is the junk DNA, something that were some time in year used, but due to evolution got marginalized into junk DNA and so on and so on. And the story starts when one of the scientists actually put those junk DNA through a mathematical sources, and he finds out that it actually is a map that leads into the specific place in the space that is far away, and basically this was a huge revelation for humankind. We called it God's coordinate. People argue that this is the creator's sign mark of our species and so forth, and the whole human kind of thinks okay, we need to pull all the resources, we need to try to make the technological jump to be able to get to that space. And trying to everything trying to unite and to kind of get to this discovery. And then we had the actually revelation of that there is there was few years of the technological progress, but obviously nothing enough to get us actually out there. And then there is a story breaks out that some Russian informants says that there is actually a wreckage of an alien ship that is kept in secret by Russian agency, and they were keeping it secret. There's a huge world pressure on the Russia to share the wreckage with the rest of the world. Obviously it has to be Russia, right? Who's else? Right? I don't know, but actually it fits because they have their land is huge. Yeah. It's the biggest land on Earth. Anyway, so using the alien technology that we couldn't understand, but we could make it going, we are actually building the biggest ship in the human history or whatever. It's called ESS Vanguard. We are putting there a crew of people, and we're going to the God's coordinates because this ship has a special drive that lets him go travel through the light speeds and so forth and so forth. I can give you like a little bit insight more about it.
Sure. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. I probably will stop here because this is where the
All right. Keep us guessing.
Yeah, the next part is really cool. Like, it's so cool. I really want to share it, but we want to just kind of keep it for the launch of the crowdfunding and so forth.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's gotta be like your one of the hardest things.
Yeah, to keep secrets because we have the Krzysztof Piskorski. He's the fantasy writer who's working with us, and he's making such an amazing stories. And this will be like a game with like a really good stories. He actually this is like I call it like a science pop culture where we look at the actual things that are happening, like a Dyson sphere, and then put a twist that's obviously unrealistic for us to do this and that, but it's cool, the rule of cool, but it's cool enough. But it is also supported by some kind of science theories or findings that are
Well,
that's awesome.
For those of you that don't know, a Dyson sphere is an inside-out planet.
Yep.
Right? It's like, imagine the land's on the inside of this sphere. That's a Dyson sphere.
It's a small spoiler as well.
Okay.
No, I was saying is I think this is really cool. I love the concept of it, and I love the fact that to me, some of the best sci-fi is always the ones that are steeped in some level of actual science, so it becomes relatable. Except for Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. There's nothing real science about that. That's just.
Did you enjoy the newest ones though?
Yeah, actually I did. I enjoyed everything but The Last Jedi. And as we spoke about one of our previous episodes, when Leia Mary Poppins out of the ship, I was done. But that's been my running tagline since I watched it in the movie theater. I may or may not have yelled out, "She is not Mary Poppins."
Okay, cool.
I was that guy in the theater. She's not Mary Poppins.
I would be okay with that. I actually, I actually enjoyed The Last Jedi more than the other two. Okay. Because on The Last Jedi, it was so ridiculous that I was actually having a good time laughing. Just laughing. It was so bad that it was so good. that was me. Like, the other two, they were on the verge of being, cringy, but there were some concept that I could still have hope for something good, right? But The Last Jedi was just like so crazy that I was just like, whatever, man. I don't care.
Well, the other complaint that I have about, as long as we're talking about The Last Jedi and we're all here.
You got him started.
You got me started. This is not my fault.
That's okay.
The other problem I have is that Luke Skywalker was not a Jedi in that movie. He was the Onceler from what's the Lorax. He's the Onceler. Come back tomorrow and I'll tell you more about the Force.
No. Like my favorite thing in the whole movie was the part. I can obviously talk spoilers here, right? No one.
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Last Jedi's been out long enough.
It's established. Okay, good. So my favorite part was when Kylo Ren was fighting Luke on this planet with white coke all around or whatever it was, and they were fighting, and then it showed up that this was an illusion, that Kylo Ren actually got cheated. Luke is alive. He survived, and then we got to the shot to him, and he dies. What's the whole point if he's going to die? Why you don't let him die like the normal way, like cutting from the who accepted it? Like, why would this was be like a transmission through the planes or whatever? Like, if he dies in the end, what's the point of making it an illusion, right? Like, that's so super.
Right. Even like a hologram that should have flickered halfway through, let Kylo know what he was. Like.
We'll have to have those Star Wars writers.
I think that's mostly because they wanted to put like as many gotcha moments as possible. Like, it was an illusion. Oh, I'm hoping for life. Gotcha, he died.
It's my real hope that one day we get to have Rian Johnson here and interview him and ask him what in the heck he was thinking about like take them frame by frame of the movie. What in the heck were you thinking here? No, really. What about this?
I like few concept. I really like few concept from there. No, we don't go there.
No, I was just say, Mark Hamill's contract was up. He wasn't shooting any more video, and we had this scene already played out. So we just had to use it. That's always what I imagine in my head is they have to use it. They just, his contract was up. He was done.
You know what I really liked? I really like when they said that the Ray parents were no ones. I actually like that. Because it was what?
No one's from nowhere.
But I was it actually could be that, that he is actually, she is just, random and she doesn't have some lineage. And that was because I liked it on a more broad level where it said to people you don't have to have a special parents to be special. You can just be special, on that kind of philosophical level where it tells the little kids your parents can be just basically whatever, or you don't have a parents or whatever, but you can still be special. I like that about it.
The message was great. It was
the message was great. The execution.
Yeah, the execution, obviously. Sure. You can get hype people for 5 hours and then just deliver you know what? Gotcha. Gotcha.
So, Marcin, where should people go to learn a little bit more about Awaken Realms?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so we have those Facebook groups for Nemesis and for ESS Vanguard. I will probably recommend ESS Vanguard group if this is something that interests you. And for the Nemesis, also one cool thing that I can talk about a little bit is that we'll be doing a digital adaptation of the game.
Awesome.
Which will not be a board game adaptation. It will be whole new game, 3D, everything. And we want to make it very hyped up in the kind of traitor mechanisms in the digital world, which might be fine.
That's exciting.
Definitely want to play with you guys when it will be live.
Oh, we absolutely would love that. That'd be great.
Deal.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Marcin, so much for being on the show. Tim,
before we go, one last thing. You're always in such a rush.
Sorry, you get
so excited and just
I know.
Toy doesn't know what to do with it. So one of the things I'm starting to do is I'm starting a scrapbook, not just in my heart, but an actual scrapbook. So what I need and what I'm hoping, Marcin, is that you'll agree to take a picture with me real quick. Are you okay with that?
Sure. Marcin, I think this is a secret mission. So I don't know if I would do it.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm holding. Look.
So should I just cut out and?
I think you should just leave. Yeah, okay. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
All I'm asking is that I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1, and then just say cheese, and I'll snap the picture. It'll be great.
Right.
I'll do later.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1. Aww.
Was that your secret mission?
Well, I failed.
Yes.
Josh.
I like him. I like Marcin.
So not only did you get to accomplish your secret mission, but you sabotaged mine. Well played.
Yeah. I mean, that's how
I'm only gonna mostly hold that against you for the rest of the day.
Can you tell I'm the cutthroat player in Nemesis?
Yeah, good. Congrats. That was 1 point.
I'm actually not. I'm more hey, everybody, let's just co-op, right?
I'm the same guy, but I'm always a traitor. But who would suspect the guy who's saying no, let's work together, guys.
Yeah.
Josh is the can we just hug it out guy?
Yeah.
You're mad? Can we hug it out?
Great. Well, great work, Marcin, and great work to your team. Tell them thank you, and we appreciate the hard work of such a just well done game. It has its unique aspects to it that we all just love. So,
and it also led to my biggest private accomplishment ever. Nemesis was on South Park for 5 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, awesome. It was. And really? the cartman actually put the box on the table and say let's play 6-hour long overcomplicated game of Nemesis. And I was like, I can die now. I can die. I don't care anymore. Forbes cover or whatever, don't care. Yeah. South Park is yeah.
That is great.
All the rest can go away. Cartman has said my game name.
Yep, exactly. That's basically, yep.
That's great. Awesome. Well,
Cool.
thank you so much for being on today. This was awesome. I really enjoyed having you here. And I look forward to the digital version of your game. I think that sounds awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Cool.
guys. It was
Have a
pleasure
good
to meet
one.
you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
And this also is a time to remind you to donate to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund. That's right, the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund. They gave all, so now you can too. So when your red shirt, Ensign Smith, gets eaten by the intruder 5 minutes into episode 43, his family is not left destitute.
We have a great deal from our new sponsor, Uncanny Brands. Just for our listeners here at Funny Science Fiction, get one of their Star Wars lightsaber hand blenders and get $5 off with the code funnysci-fi. That's FUNNYSCIFI. Thank you for listening or watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. If you've enjoyed our podcast, why not come join our Funny Science Fiction Facebook group too? It's filled with giggle-worthy memes and gags. Visit our website, www.funnysci-fi.com. That's FUNNYSCI-FI.com. You can also support us on Patreon, where you can get transcripts, bonus episodes, and other fun merch. That's at patreon.com/FUNNYSCIFI. Look for links in the podcast description.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @funnysci-fi, or you can go to draytonallen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.